Lesson 40. Who's Who? In this text, we'll talk about practical jokes. Now first, listen to the text and try to answer this question. How did the policeman discover that the whole thing was a joke?
It has never been explained why university students seem to enjoy practical jokes more than anyone else. Students specialize in a particular type of practical joke, the hoax. Inviting the fire brigade to put out a non-existent fire is a crude form of deception which no self-respecting student would ever indulge in. Students often create amusing situations, which are funny to everyone except the victims. When a student recently saw two workmen using a pneumatic drill outside his university, he immediately telephoned the police and informed them that two students dressed up as workmen were tearing up the road with a pneumatic drill. As soon as he had hung up, he went over to the workmen and told them that if a policeman ordered them to go away, they were not to take him seriously. He added that a student had dressed up as a policeman and was playing all sorts of silly jokes on people. Both the police and the workmen were grateful to the student for this piece of advance information. The student hid in an archway nearby where he could watch and hear everything that went on. Sure enough, a policeman arrived on the scene and politely asked the workman to go away. When he received a very rude reply from one of the workmen, he threatened to remove them by force. The workman told him to do as he pleased, and the policeman telephoned for help. Shortly afterwards, 4 more policemen arrived and remonstrated with the workman. As the men refused to stop working, the police attempted to seize the pneumatic drill. The workmen struggled fiercely, and one of them lost his temper. He threatened to call the police. At this, the police pointed out ironically that this would hardly be necessary as the men were already under arrest. Pretending to speak seriously, one of the workmen asked if he might make a telephone call before being taken to the station. Permission was granted, and a policeman accompanied him to a payphone. Only when he saw that the man was actually telephoning the police did he realize that they had all been the victims of a hoax.
Now, after listening, can you answer this question? How did the policeman discover that the whole thing was a joke? The policeman found out that the whole thing was a joke when he saw the man telephoning the police from the payphone. The title of this text is Who's Who? Who's Who is actually the title of a kind of encyclopedia, listing all the important or famous people. Who's Who 本来是一种百科全书的名字，就是名人录。Some companies or organizations also have a who's who, listing all the important people's positions. But in this text, it actually sums up the student's trick. For neither the workman nor the policeman knew who the other side really were. The confusion caused by the student's hoax was about who's who. Before the text tells us about the hoax, it gives us some preparation. The hoax seemed to be the favorite joke of university students, and they try to make the hoax up to their standard. It shouldn't be too crude. They try to make it as funny as possible. Of course, it's funny, except to the victims. Okay, now let's look at some language points in this text. University students seem to enjoy practical jokes more than anyone else. Enjoy practical jokes. A practical joke is a trick to surprise or make fun or even make a fool of somebody. 恶作剧，尤其是捉弄人的这种恶作剧。Enjoy a joke means like a particular kind of joke. We can also use other verbs to go together with joke. 我们来看看还有其他什么动词可以跟 joke 连用。Make a joke 开玩笑 tell a joke, 讲一个笑话 or play a joke, 制造一个恶作剧 Remember in lesson 31, we learned stage a joke. Students specialize in a particular type of practical joke. Here, specialize in means they are particularly good at this type of joke. Specialize in usually means major in or be good at. Look at these examples. She specializes in environmental policy. 她的专业是环保政策。I went to a restaurant specialized in Japanese food. 一家主要经营日餐的饭馆。The hoax. Hoax is a particular kind of trick in order to deceive people by telling them about something non-existent. 其实就是蒙骗。The fire brigade to put out a non-existent fire. Put out fire means to extinguish fire. 扑灭火呢，可以用 put out 或者 extinguish. If the fire goes out, then it goes out on its own. 火自己的熄灭呢，是叫 go out. A non-existent fire. Non-existent means not existing. Look at this example. Many species had become non-existent. Here it means they had become extinct. 已经灭绝了。No self-respecting student would ever indulge in. Self-respecting means somebody who respects himself or herself. 自尊的。self 还可以跟其他的现在分词用连字符连接，变成形容词。For example, self-supporting, 自己能够养活自己的。Self-governing, 自治的。Ever indulge in. Indulge in usually refers to some kind of weakness or compliance to gratify your desire, 一种沉溺。For example, most of us are too busy to indulge in lunchtime drinking. Indulge in drinking because drinking is a kind of weaknesses. Accept the victims. Here the victims refer to the victims of the hoax. Look at how to use victims in different situations. 它可以指一种犯罪的受害者 a murder victim, 灾难的受害人 earthquake or flood victims, 或者患者 cancer victims or AIDS victims. Look at this example. Our school became the victim of the cuts of government spending. 政府的开支削减之后，我们的学校成为受害者。Workmen were tearing up the road. Tear up means to tear to pieces or break into pieces. Look at this example. She tore up the letter in tears. 她含着泪呢，把信撕成碎片。还可以这样表达 She tore the letter to pieces in tears. So tear up means to tear to pieces. They were not to take him seriously. To take something or somebody seriously, here it means to take it as true. 别把它当真。它的另外一个词义是别看得太重。The opposite of take something seriously is take it lightly. Look at these two examples. When he told me that he would quit his job, I didn't take him seriously, which means I didn't believe it was true. 我没把他的话当真。I think you're taking his criticism too seriously. 这里 take the criticism too seriously 意思是把他的批评看得太重了。He added that a student had dressed up as a policeman. Add here means to add in speech, 补充说. We can also use add to. For example, do you have anything to add to his point? 你关于他的观点还有什么补充的吗？ All sorts of silly jokes on people. Silly 它的同义词有 foolish or stupid, but silly emphasizes being ridiculous. Silly 呢还强调一层荒谬可笑的意思。This piece of advance information. Here, advance is used as an adjective, means ahead of time, 提前的. For example, we can say advance planning or advance payment. And look at this example. We received no advance warning of the storm. 没有接到预先的警告。Arrived on the scene. On the scene refers to the place of the accident or the crime. 现场. Look at this example. I phoned the police and they were on the scene within minutes. 他们几分钟就到达了现场。He threatened to remove them by force. Remove somebody means to make somebody leave. 我们在前面几课学习过 remove something 的用法。To remove the biscuit from the lorry. There, remove means to take the biscuit out from the lorry. Look at this example. She angrily asked him to remove himself from the room. Here it means asked him to get out of the room. Remove them by force. By force means by physical force or by physical violence, 强行. For example, her ex-husband tried to get the children back by force. 想把孩子夺回去. Teachers are not allowed to use force in controlling their pupils. Here, force also means physical force. 现在老师不许使用体罚来控制学生。Told him to do as he pleased. Do something as somebody pleases means to do something as somebody wants. 让他随便吧。Look at this example. He just does as he pleases and never thinks of anyone else. 他只做自己高兴的事情，而不考虑别人。When you disagree with somebody and you can't persuade him or her, you can say, please yourself. 那你就随便吧。Remonstrated with the workman. Remonstrate with somebody against something is a formal way of saying to object or to protest in order to persuade somebody. 对较为亲近的人的一种规劝、劝诫。Look at these examples. The parents remonstrated with their son about his bad habits. 父母呢，劝诫他们的儿子改变这些坏习惯。I went to the boss to remonstrate against the new rules. 规劝他改了这些新的规矩。The police attempted to seize the pneumatic drill. To seize something, here it means to take away something, especially a drug or illegal product. 这儿是指对非法东西的夺走。Usually, seize means get hold of, 抓住。For example, she seized my hand and dragged me away. In English, there's also the saying, seize the opportunity, 抓住机会, and seize the day, 抓住今天，意思就是只争朝夕。The workman struggled fiercely. Struggle here means fight. Look at what struggle means in each of these examples. He struggled with the attacker, who then ran off. 他和袭击的这个人搏斗，这个袭击的人后来又跑掉了。As a young artist, she's struggling for recognition. Here, struggle for recognition 意思是为了出名而奋斗。I've been struggling to understand this text for hours. 我花了几个小时的时间来试图搞懂这篇课文。Struggled fiercely. Fiercely 这个动词经常用来形容一种争斗或者竞争。For example, to fight fiercely, or fiercely competitive, 非常激烈的竞争。The police pointed out ironically. Ironically 意思是具有讽刺意义的，或者讥讽的。Look at these examples. She replied ironically, "We are so pleased that you're able to stay so long," which actually indicates that she felt fed up with your stay. Ironically, his cold got better on the last day of his holiday. 非常具有讽刺意味的是，当假期结束的时候，他的感冒也好了。Permission was granted. Granted means to formally give, or to give official permission. Look at these examples. He granted their request. 他准许了他们的要求。They granted her an entry visa. 他们给他发了入境签证。Only when he saw that the man was actually telephoning the police did he realize. Only 放在句首的时候，主句的主谓要倒装。这句话的正常语序应当是 He realized that they had all been the victims only when he saw that the man was actually telephoning the police. I'll give you more examples. I began to like him only after I had known him for a long time. 如果我要把 only 放在句首，那就要把 I began 这里的主谓倒装，也就是说要把助动词 did 提前，变成 Only after I had known him for a long time did I begin to like him. 最后，我们来看看课文中的几个句子，看看在句式上如何保持句子成分的均衡和如何突出某些成分。It has never been explained why university students seem to enjoy practical jokes more than anyone else. 这句话的主语是 it, 但是它实际上是用来代替 why university students 一直到句末。因为这个主语的成分太长，所以用 it 来代替，这样就保持了句子的平衡。Students specialize in a particular type of practical joke. Colon, the hoax. 这句话中呢，句子的要点是冒号后边的 the hoax. Leave it to the end so that it can be emphasized. 把它放在句末，这样就强调了它的重要性。那么这种情形下，除了冒号之外 ，a dash 破折号也经常被使用。Only when he saw that the man was actually telephoning the police did he realize that they had all been the victims of a hoax. To put only at the beginning of the sentence, so that to emphasize, the police did not realize until very late. Students often create amusing situations which are funny to everyone except the victims. Except the victims, it is actually the most important information in that sentence. So you can leave the most important thing to the end. Inviting the fire brigade to put out a non-existent fire is a crude form which no self-respecting student would ever indulge in. 这里的这个从句其实占有主导作用，它要强调 usually university students would not try this kind of deception or hoax. 课文一开头就告诉我们 It has never been explained why university students seem to enjoy practical jokes more than anybody else. The text hasn't explained it to us either. What do you think? 从年龄上说， University students are a special age group. They are already adults, but they don't have the social obligations adults have. They are no longer adolescents. Adolescent 就是青少年。But they still share a lot of things with adolescents. For example, being rebellious, wild, and love to challenge the authorities. 从环境上说呢，校园通常被称作象牙塔，就是 ivory tower, because it's isolated from the society. 学生既可以讲是有最大程度的自由，也可以说是有最大程度的不自由 ，because they'll have to take courses and exams. 所以呢，学生们会把精力放在恶作剧上，这就不难理解了。成年人就未必有这种兴致和自由。But there's an April Fool's Day, so that on the 1st of April, everybody's desire to play tricks can be satisfied. All right, I'll see you next time.